Hi, this is Doug and Cindy with Help Me Help Mama 5cast. Thanks for joining in today. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that we get a lot of questions about at the early part of mom's caregiver journey, and which would be the early part of your caregiver journey with her, which is, why does mama need help? Or sometimes it's, does mama need help? Or sometimes people ask, is it just my imagination, or does mama need help? So you went through that with your mom, and you started noticing her declining a little bit in the beginning. So how did you answer that? Why did she need help? Or
with my mom, it was things that she wasn't taking care of herself, that she had done in the past really well. She used to cook. She used to, shop and buy groceries, bring them home, cook them, and eat that. And I started noticing she had bags of food from a fast food restaurant wrapped up in the refrigerator. I noticed she wasn't taking her medications. She wasn't managing things like she had used to. So, and it's important that you know what to look for, because other people are going to be looking for these things, specifically the healthcare providers. There are laws there that are in place to protect our elderly, and to know what to look for. They have charts, and one of them is instrumental activities of daily living. These are things that we've done all of our life, basically, and we take for granted. But things that your mama may not be doing really good at right now, like managing medications.
and some of these are in cooking and cleaning and in dressing, and a lot of these are not measured on like compared to someone else. Like, does she cook fried chicken as good as somebody else? I mean, your mom was like the world's best fried chicken maker, but it's the changes with that person, and you are her kid maybe, or the spouse, so what is she doing now that she didn't do? What is she having trouble with now that she didn't used to have trouble with at all? What is she not doing that maybe she's not really enjoying now? And you ask her about it, and you ask your mom about cooking. Well, it's just me.
It's just too much trouble.
It's just too much trouble, and she used to really enjoy cooking. So it's things like this, that the instrumental activities of daily living, like, how did it used to be versus how is it now? And you're just looking for a change within your parent or your spouse.
And those changes are going to impact their daily lives, like fast food versus healthy food. She used to grow a lot of vegetables in the garden and eat fresh vegetables and fruits. And then she got to the point where it's fast food, fast food, fast food, not managing her medications, not managing her finances. She would drive to our house every weekend, and if she would get there after dark, got to the point where she was getting lost. And we noticed an extra scratch on the car, so things like that.
My grandpa had a scratch on every bumper, so we that's a clue. Like, what was he hitting? Hope it wasn't other people. And I don't know. I think a lot of them he used. Grandma died several years before he did, and he would go out to the cemetery to visit her. At the cemetery, visit her grave, and as you was going out of the cemetery, there was a big stone archway that was built back probably 100 years ago, I guess, when they rode little carts through there or something. But if you drive through there, you gotta like hit it just right. Or so I imagine a lot of the scratches was going through that, and he'd take turns catching a bumper on that each time. But that's probably a lot of them.
Another thing you look for is communication management. My mom was a telephone operator from the time she was early 20s to late 30s, so she knew how to operate a telephone. But when she'd travel, we'd want her to take a cell phone. She just never could master that.
Never got it.
Never got it. Home maintenance, house cleaning, things that you look for, preparing meals. Now, there are lots of different ways to communicate. You can communicate on the iPhone, the landline, the computer, I guess on your watch, just any number of different ways. How do they manage that, and do they manage it?
So we'll talk more about this in upcoming videos, activities of daily living, instrumental activities of daily living. But the thing here again is just to notice the relative change. How did it used to be? How is it now? And it's just that this is a lot of times at the very early stages, you're trying to determine, does she really need help? Or is it just my imagination, and what specifically can I help with? And so more to come on these topics. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining us today. Glad you joined us on this video. Please send any comments or questions you have to support@helpmehelpmomma.com. We'll see you again soon.